The Diary of Dr. X, The Joys of Pepper Spray. I've written about egalitarian philosophies before. I've also talked about the fact that they are typical of most Native American societies historically. In fact, just recently I spoke candidly about my meeting with the boys from South Indian Lake, using them as an example of the way reciprocity is alive and well in many Native American cultures, at least in this area of the world. In other words, many natives who still follow the traditional teachings would give you the shirt off their back if you are friendly with them and treat them with the respect they expect in return from another proper human being. Unfortunately, for all of the good people like that, there are also Native Americans who are thugs too, as with any other ethnic group, I suppose. I've been physically attacked 3 times by such people in the Osborne village in my lifetime and robbed 24 beer on another occasion. All while I was out picking up beer cans, for Christ's sake. 2 of the assaults occurred in the last year. While I worked as a scavenger. Same as the other some years ago, which was slightly fictionalized to the opening scene of a story I wrote called Dreamwalker. Short story by my alter ego, Dungeon369, which you can find at silverthought.com and read online if you like. Most recent attack occurred on December 4th, 2010, when I was first fleshed out this episode. You see, as I've mentioned, the city of Winnipeg has the highest per capita population of Native Americans of any Canadian city. Perhaps even North America, though I haven't checked on the latter statistic. And it's people like I will discuss below who give all Native Americans in this city a bad rep. They are the reason that my friends from South Indian Lake told me stories about approaching white folks in a friendly manner, as they had me, before sharing their whiskey with me and giving me some money, while having them turn and run or cross the street to avoid them even before they could approach. On this day, I had just headed out on my rounds when it happened. I turned up the alley between River and Stradbrook Avenue, headed west, just across the street from my own apartment building. I thought I would scope out the recycling bins and dumpsters for cans, since winter had just fallen and I had less competition from the others. It was also a Friday night, which usually means a relatively good score. And then what did I see? 4 native youths who approached me from the west, up the alley, all looking to be in their early 20s. I thought nothing of it, as that is usually not a problem in my experience. Until the largest one, when he got close, held up an 8-inch black cylinder with a trigger on top and shouted, "Empty your pockets or I'll spray you!" Oh. You know you're in trouble, in my experience, when someone sets out to rob you when you have nothing, because they never believe you based on 3 attacks I have endured. I tried anyways. "I don't have anything," I said. "I'm just out picking up beer cans." He sprayed me anyways. Not as effectively as intended, I suppose. He was some distance away, fortunately. I also held up my gloved hand between the nozzle and my eyes, wear glasses, and closed my eyes briefly when I saw him fire. Combined, these factors meant I wasn't left writhing in the street in pain nor blinded. Perhaps surprised by this fact, or simply disorganized, the 4 of them didn't jump me and kick the shit out of me. This was fortunate. So I took a swat at the bottle to try to take it from him. He gave me a shove and knocked me on my ass for my efforts. "Run, run," his small friend shouted, thankfully. I guess he and the others did, and the group began to move off, or so I thought. So I picked up my toque, which had been knocked off my head, and put it back on. I continued on my way, not running, when the smaller guy, I guess shamed by his friends for asking them to run off, ran up behind me and made the same friendly request, not with words this time, but with more pepper spray, as the weapon had been handed off to him, so he could prove himself. So I took a shot at him also, and he knocked me to my knees and sprayed me a 3rd time, while I covered my face with my gloved hands, and he gave me a shot in the back of the head. Look, I have nothing, I shouted. I'm just picking up beer cans, for fuck's sakes. I guess he ran off then as well. Myself, I cut between two buildings to head to the better lighted front street, shaking with adrenaline, then up Stradbrook to the heated bus shelter in front of the fire station on the corner of Osborne. There, I used my cell phone to call 911 and report the assault with a weapon and attempted robbery. My $2 in dimes, nickels, and quarters still safe in my right pocket. They put me through to the police, and I described my assailants as best as I could, given the darkness and the speed of things, as well as what had happened. I also warned them that another attempted robbery in the area was likely, given the fact that my assailants had gotten nothing off of me. I saw 3 police cars arrive in the village within the next 10 minutes as I waited in the bus shelter for a car to come and talk to me. I was told the police would come and meet me there. But after I watched 2 cruisers pass the location I had given them, while I looked directly at each of them as they approached, I just shook my head and went on about my rounds. At least I escaped the worst of the pepper spray, or so I thought. My eyes didn't burn. There was just a warm feeling in my eyebrows, on my cheekbones, and my right ear, as I recall. So I finished my rounds while avoiding the alleys that night, found enough cans to cash for beer for the night, and went home. Figured I would wash up in the bathroom sink before I went and cashed my cans to see if I could remove the hot feeling that I had around my eyes. Oh, boy, was that a mistake! As soon as I put water anywhere near my eyes, the hotness spread right into them. I had the sink running, never thought to shut it off, closed my eyes tight, which was the only way to avoid the excruciating pain that set in, sat down on the toilet and scrabbled to pull off all of my clothes. I then felt my way into the shower like a blind man and stood under the water for at least 15 minutes before I could open my eyes again without pain. I let the water wash over my face and head the entire time, including washing my hair twice. My breath even became short from inhaling the mist in the air from the pepper spray. In fact, the stuff is so potent that just the residue as you wash it off can bring heat to other areas of your body. My scrotum and rectum started to burn, for example, because so much of what was being washed off my face and hair ran down to drip off in those areas. Lethal stuff. My only advice, based on my personal experience, is that if you are ever anywhere near a blast of pepper spray, you should jump in the shower immediately when you get home, close your eyes tightly, and scrub for 15 minutes. Because even after the time came when I could finally open my eyes without pain, it was almost an hour before all of my body parts stopped tingling, and days before I could touch my eyes without feeling some heat. And all I have to say to those Native American thugs who have attacked me over the years is this. You are lost souls. Go find an elder to talk to. Go to a sweat. Discover who you were supposed to be according to your own people's traditions, because Native American philosophies are the best hope for our future. And assholes like yourselves do nothing but give the rest of your people a bad name in the eyes of us all. In fact, you are the main reason for the continuing prejudice against your own people on the part of the dominant society. Cheers.